What's up, guys? So here we have how to make your character for page drawing videos or for your, for your influencer page. This is a question that a lot of you guys have been asking. So yeah, I thought it would be nice if I just break it down a little bit more, because there's quite a lot of stuff to go through, and when you're not insanely creative person, which for example I personally never was insanely creative, but I was always good on brute forcing ideas into my head and into trying to make things sound logical, which is what I'm gonna try right now. And if you're creative, you can just pull up a character out of your ass. You can just create it in AI, and then you can just like make voice for it. You can make a script, and maybe there's like 90% chance that if you created something that's good, if you're like actually a good creative person, then you will definitely blow up with it. I can't personally do it. I can't just pull a character out of my ass and go viral with it. So I need to break down why the character works and all of that shit. And I feel like for all of the people who are not gifted, like insanely gifted, just like me, I feel like it's always better to be a little bit more analytical and to actually think about why the character is working, and then based on all of the data you have, you create another character. So, and I think also for all the creative people, if you're creative and at the same time you also break everything down and you think about it, then probably your final outcome will be even better. So this is probably worth listening to, whether you're super creative or whether you are not super creative, just like me, and you need like a lot of analytical data. So first of all, we have Monk as an example here, and if you want to make your character the easiest way, which is break down what's working and make iterations of it, then you need to break down obviously why this character worked. So obviously everyone has probably seen this young man on IG. Shout out Shalif, by the way. This was like very very good idea. And so you gotta break down why this monk or why this character even worked. So obviously it was because mainly alternative medicine, and people are obsessed with this shit lately. Even like with like all the holistic stuff. Like I think we all remember like 2024 Barbara O'Neill and all of those things. So people are obsessed with holistic healing. They are obsessed with this alternative medicine, and they just want to hear about it. Then also this was completely new niche, so it was kind of switch from the holistic one into this like esoteric niche. So it's like a completely new niche, and this is basically the equivalent of Barbara O'Neill in like this esoteric niche. But obviously monk this monk isn't like a famous person just like Barbara O'Neill. But yeah, just saying this to make it a little bit more simple to understand for you guys. And he's also a very trustworthy figure, obviously, because he's a monk. Who wouldn't trust a monk? So this is why it worked. So when you're gonna be remaking or making iterations of monk, you kind of gonna have to stick with these things, and then like I switch one, but we're gonna go to it later. Then also, it's nice to break down your avatar, or like your ideal person that's gonna like this character. So it's usually, or like generally, it's gonna be whoever wants to heal naturally without meds and doctors. And these people also likely believe many conspiracies, as they already believe that big pharma and doctors are trying to kill them. Otherwise, they obviously wouldn't be listening to Monk, giving them some random natural advice when they just could take a pill, which is kind of obvious. So these are going to be the people in general. It doesn't matter the age, but this is going to be the avatar that you're going to be targeting usually with Monk and with the scripts that fit to Monk. And then specifically, this one will be dependent on the script, and this one will depend mainly on, yeah, obviously on the script, but also what you target in the script as the pain point. So if it's going to be something like anxiety, or if it's going to be really something like just about mindset, I would even argue not even 30, 40-year-old moms, but if it's going to be something hard about mindset, it could even target like 25-year-old to like 35-year-old people who are trying to meditate and all of that shit. Obviously, this is AI, so it might be a little bit harder to target 25-year-old people because most people will, notice it's AI. So that's why I mainly typed 30 to 40-year-old moms here, which is also most likely going to be the case. But then, if you're going to be talking about some health problems, if you're going to be talking about like high cortisol, or I don't know, menopause even, or insulin resistance, or like gaining fat, or like some heart related issues, high blood sugar, high blood pressure, and all of that shit, you're obviously going to be targeting like 50 to 65 year olds grandmas, grandpas who are trying to fix their health. Reason why also 50 to 65 year old people are interested into these health problems is these people are in the sweet spot between like caring about their health and wanting to fix it, and not caring about their health at all and being like, all right, I'm gonna die anyway, so I might as well enjoy my life, which is like more the 70-year-old phase where they just accept that they're gonna die. I mean, yeah, it sounds horrible, but it is what it is. So these people usually are in the phase where they do not want to accept that they are gonna like be away pretty soon, but then at like 70 they usually accept it and they don't care about this like health stuff anymore. So this is why it's always the best to target like this chunk of people, and it's what's going to be getting you the most conversions, views, and all that shit if you're going to be talking about health issues. And it's also why talking about these health problems is going to be targeting this age demographic. Also, in both cases, whatever script you're going to do, you're probably going to be targeting problem-aware audience. Obviously, when anxiety, like three phrases to say to yourself when anxiety begins to rise, very problem-aware, because everybody probably experienced their anxiety to rise. So and it's a problem and you want to fix it. So you're aware of the problem and you want to fix. So this is like very problem-aware hook. But yeah, hopefully you guys understand what I mean by problem-aware. I don't really want to go into script writing too much, but yeah. So now, once you broke this down properly, what you can do with this knowledge. So obviously the simplest thing you can do, I've talked about it earlier, is to get a character that's going to check all the marks here, these three, but add a switch to it, and then also probably switch this mark, check this mark in the of the general who likes the character. So yeah, and if you want things insanely easy, you can stay within the same niche, but you can only switch ethnicity or authority. So this will be like rainforest shaman instead of monk. He still practices this alternative medicine, and it's basically a similar niche, but he's still trustworthy. He's still a trustworthy figure. So you are kind of keeping all of these three, but you are just kind of like switching around the character. So how rainforest shaman looks like, by the way, it's like this. This guy. Just people like these in the Amazon. So this is someone, by the way, that I've never seen anyone do yet, which I'm not sure why, because like these people have a lot of credibility, 100%. So I would definitely try to use someone like this. Also, another thing, like this just popped up. Like you can definitely use even some Amazon tribes. You can get it doesn't have to. It could literally be like one person, and then like a couple people sitting behind him, and him talking in Amazon. You could in the Amazon rainforest you could add some like sound of like parrots and all of that shit. I feel like that could be like pretty interesting. Nobody has done it yet, and this is probably a very interesting idea I'm throwing here, especially for soursop and especially for moringa. I feel like this is lit because obviously this it fits the vibe of like them just like getting soursop off trees and eating it, or like getting moringa off of trees and eating it, or I don't know, smoking moringa or whatever. I don't know what they would be doing with it, but yeah, I think you guys get my point. So that's one thing you can do. Then also, for example, spiritual healer. It's still the same shit. It's still basically like same niche as the monk. So it's still the esoteric shit. Still alternative medicine. Still very trustworthy figure. Spiritual healer we have here. So yeah, you can see this page went pretty viral. And let me just pull up this script.
Refrigerating these 5 foods immediately, because the truth is, must cook. Number 3 is the stress form link. Just remember how you
store your
food
like this,
can make it
right. So yeah, she's a spiritual healer, which also has a lot of authority. And then you can also switch the niche completely, which is a little bit harder. You actually right now have to put some thoughts into it and actually do some research, because here like this is insanely easy. I feel like you can just like randomly think about some random shit. I mean, I literally just searched up the rainforest guy and then got another idea with the tribes. So you can see how easily you can get ideas here. But yeah, so with the niche, it can be a little bit harder, and you actually have to think about it a little bit more outside of the box, but obviously still doable. And so here you will still be keeping the trustworthy character and the alternative medicine, but you will go with completely new niche that hasn't been discovered before. So, for example, you can have this Amish one, which you guys have probably seen at this point a lot of times.
People never buy from the
So this one's lit.
Supermarket. And fungicide. Third, and a chlorine.
So this one's very solid. Or then this Farmer Grandpa, which I also really like. This was a very solid idea to do.
Sex is not love. Dating is not love. Because not
okay, but this guy, he's just doing random tips.
Keep it private until it's
also probably very good advice would be for you guys, don't mix. Not sure why this guy is doing it, probably there is some point behind it, but definitely do not mix these life advice this life advice with like health tips and then with plugging in your product, because like you're going to be targeting all sorts of random people, you know, and people that are like that started following you because you gave them some good advice about love or whatever, will then probably not like you for the advice you give about health, or because you're trying to sell them sour soap. So yeah, not a great idea to do this. I would just like keep your shit focused around health, so then it's easier to sell your product later, because this is what we're doing it for. I don't think none of us are doing it just to gain followers and to none of us are doing this for fun. So it makes sense to optimize it only for health tips and health niche. And then also this random Hawaiian dude. So again, it has authority, but it's also a niche that hasn't been discovered before. But this one hasn't gone viral for quite a bit. But some of these first videos were actually pretty solid. For example, this one.
How old are you?
108.
Yes.
Mixing garlic and olive.
Honestly, the transition is kind of shit. I don't even know how it got so many views, but yeah, I think if these videos were better, like the scripts, if they were better and all of that, it would definitely go viral as fuck. This guy has a lot of potential. So
you guys drink what?
You guys also have some free sauce here. And so yeah, that would be it for the first method that you can do. This one's probably the easiest, and if you don't have a lot of experience, this is probably the only one I will be sticking to for now. And then another one is that you can be completely original, which requires more work, more planning, but you can create a new young man, and that obviously means that you will most likely make a lot of money, because you're going to have a character that no one has replicated before, and you're going to have like completely new niche, and you're going to go insanely viral. So this is probably even better, like making your own new characters in completely new niche. This is even better than making like completely new scripts and doing like creative scripts and creative hooks. This is like the peak of being creative, because like it takes a lot of time until someone is going to be able to replicate you, especially if you learn a lot about the niche. I don't think anyone has like successfully replicated young man properly. Like it's just not possible, because like Shalev has a shit ton of knowledge in that niche, and he knows how to properly make all of the scripts. So nobody has been able to replicate him. And you can be literally the same if you find some niche that hasn't been discovered yet properly, and you think it has a lot of potential, and you just study the niche properly, and then you make a couple of accounts and you blow it up. Nobody's going to be able to copy you, and you're going to be the first original guy with that character. So yeah. So the first questions you need to think about are these. So first of all, which gender you want to target, male, female, both. Which niche you want to target, pregnancy, holistic, image, some esoteric shit. It's obviously up to you. Which age you want to target, 18, 30, 50, 70. I would go with like 50, 30 to 50, or like 50 to 60. I actually don't know. It's up to you again, but I would definitely not go with 18 to 30. That's not good. At least 30 plus. Then which product you want to be promoting? Obviously that makes it's just super important. Obviously you're not going to be promoting like Athena with a monk. It doesn't make sense. Why would a fucking monk suggest you a shower filter? Super weird. Or like, I don't know, you won't be promoting like deos, for example, like the pills that make your sweat stink less. Well, obviously monk is not going to be promoting something like that. It's fucking bullshit. So like you need to make characters that are going to be fitting for the product, which is like very obvious, I would say, but I'm still mentioning it just in case it's not. And then also, who do you want to sell the product to? This is probably going to be like the most extensive question. Like you really need to figure out who the person who's going to be buying the product is going to be. So you're gonna have to answer all these bunch of questions, like what things does this person do throughout his day? Like, does he have kids? Does he not have kids? If so, like what the gender are his kids, for example, or actually that doesn't really matter, but more like what age are his kids, which is probably going to be dependent on how old he is, and like any specific problems. So like do these people have problems with, I don't know, like heart health because they're not like training a lot, or they have problems with high blood pressure and all that stuff. So you're just gonna have to create your perfect person that's gonna have like some general common issues, and then think about which character they're gonna like. So yeah, this part is super important. You gotta like answer as many questions as you can to the smallest possible detail. But obviously you are not gonna be going into shit like what car he drives and all this stuff. That's obviously not that important. It's more like just to understand the person, because like obviously if you go too niched, then if you go too niche with the person, then the person is probably not even gonna exist. So you need to make a lot of research, probably on Reddit and all of that shit, to figure out all of these questions. I feel like the best way to do it is first figure out the gender, then figure out the niche, then figure out the age, and then figure out the product. And then with all of these details, you're gonna go to like Reddit, or you're gonna go to some Facebook forums, like these Facebook communities. I mean, or as I said, Reddit, and you're gonna go through all of these. You're gonna make a proper customer research. You're gonna answer all these questions: what these people do, what specific problems they have, and then you're gonna think of the perfect character that would fit these people. So I'm gonna give you an example of like 40-year-old women going through menopause who are married. They are struggling with marriage because menopause is making them act crazy, which is obviously causing a lot of arguments. Is there a dot here? I thought it's some weird spot on my monitor, but yeah, okay, whatever. So okay, but it's obviously making them act crazy because their hormones are going retarded, which is causing a lot of arguments. They are obviously problem aware because they know this is an issue, that they are acting like kind of retarded, and they are desperately looking for solutions, and they also don't want to feel like it's their fault. And since their current relationship is struggling, they might be on the lookout for someone else, which is also, I would say, very obvious. If you look into the psychology a little bit more, it always happens. Like, I don't want to make any like assumptions, but it's just what it is. I'm just stating facts, so don't get pissed, please. And then they're also ashamed that they're going through menopause. So this is what you get if you make proper customer research about a 40-plus-year-old woman going through a menopause who's married. You're then gonna have all of these. Informations, or all of this information, and that means you ideally, since they are struggling in a relationship and they might be on the lookout for someone else, you need an attractive man to hook them first. So you will first create a character that's attractive, and then he's ideally going to talk about the fact that the menopause, that she's acting slightly retarded, is actually her husband's fault and it's not her fault, and he is at fault for not understanding her issues, which is obviously what they want to hear. And if it's also an attractive man saying it, then it's gonna be, it's gonna work insanely good. And then also they need solutions, and you're gonna provide them with solution. And then you can also start the video with very specific niche hook, because they are problem aware, which I'm going into scripting a little bit here, but I still think it kind of makes sense to explain the character. This goes even to here. This is also like very problem aware hook, because it talks straight about anxiety and what to do when your anxiety begins to rise. So the same thing you would do, what to do when your blood pressure begins to rise, for example, right? Because like some people can actually feel their blood pressure rising. For example, my mom used to have very bad issues with high blood pressure, and she would just feel it. She would just like start to feel dizzy, and she would instantly have to take some pills to lower the blood pressure. So this would also be like super niche hook. And obviously for you, if you were watching this, because you are not, I'm also trying to get into the problem aware and to explain you this. If you were watching this right now, you probably never had issues with high blood pressure. And so if you saw hook, what to do when your blood pressure starts to rise, you would instantly like scroll away because you don't give a fuck. You don't know like what it feels like when your blood pressure starts to rise. But when there's like, for example, if it was my mom, or if it was, I don't know, some 50-year-old random person who experienced issues with high blood pressure, and they feel that their pressure is like starting to get high, they are obviously problem aware that they know about this issue. And if you start the hook like this, like what to do when your blood pressure starts rising, they will instantly stop because they want to know what to do. Because, for example, they might not know anything else rather than like taking pills, and they might want to know some extra tips. So yeah, let's go back here. Oh my god, on touchpad this is actually diabolical. So yeah, okay, so yeah, so as I was saying, you can start it with problem bar hook, and so then you're gonna have something like this, which I was using this example quite a lot of times, and it immediately got onto my mind. The reason why I used this one again is because for me it's probably the easiest one to explain, and I really need you guys to understand all of this stuff. So yeah, so we went with someone who's obviously kind of muscular. You know, he has like this shirt, he's slightly unbuttoned, like he's not fully buttoned up. You know, he's shaved, his haircut is clean, and it's just someone that like all of the 40-50-year-old plus moms are gonna be attracted to. And then also you started with married men should know this about his wife. It's like most people think like menopause is just whatever. Fuck, I actually don't remember the script, but it's something like most people just think that if I would like make this a little bit more simpler, it's like most people think that menopause is like not a problem, but it's actually a massive issue that like completely destroys a woman. So you know, then like all of these women get hooked because they want to feel understood. One thing also I kind of didn't put here is that they also want to feel understood, and they also feel like no one understands them. Also because they are ashamed to talk about it. So then how can anyone understand them if they don't talk about this issue? So obviously. And so obviously then if you're gonna make something a script, I mean I'm going more into scripting, but then if you're gonna make attractive men that's that understands them, it's gonna hit much more. Because we are trying the same script with a woman and it was not working. Like you really like the character makes a massive difference, and you could make this guy as like some postpartum advisor or whatever like that. So and it would work very well. And if we stuck to this character up until now, and if we actually made a whole page just about helping women with menopause, just like a menopause therapy or some shit like that, we would fucking print. But back at the time, which is like a couple months ago, we didn't have all of the knowledge that we have now, obviously. So, kind of missed a bag right there, fumbled a massive bag. So yeah, this would be everything for this loom, I would say. I think I don't really have anything else to talk about. If you have any questions, then you can let me know. But yeah, I feel like it's already like pretty extensive loom, and I should probably stop yapping. So yeah, in case you guys have any questions, then just let me know in either in I think coaching chats will be better than DMs, because my DMs are literally disappearing lately. Like if I have like, for example, like 20 DMs in a day, like half of it will just disappear and I will never be able to like retrieve the DMs back. I don't know why it's happening, but it's pretty retarded. So just tag me in your coaching chats. I'm gonna reply. I'm gonna answer whatever questions you have. So yeah, hopefully this all made sense. I know it's a lot of info, but it just had to be said.